All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome aboard our quarterly full throttle training and trading session. Industry leading, folks. I'm the only guy in the industry that does this. Now, some of you, I know we have a lot of new folks joining us for Full Throttle, and maybe you saw me speak at like the Mad Hedge Fund Summit or some of these other multi-speaker events. I just, I don't know how people jump on board something after 40 45-minute brief. I'm the only guy in the industry that opens up the doors to our live trade briefs the entire week for free. Catch a lot of grief from it from some folks in the industry, like, why don't you charge? I'm like, hey man, I want to show people our current flight operations, not death by PowerPoint slides. Get in here, see us training, and then make a decision if you want to get airborne or not. So I'm really excited about this. We only do this once a quarter with our Full Throttle folks because we keep a nice tight squadron. We don't have a zoo. We have a nice tight squadron, and I'm really excited for this. Tough day. Just got off the phone with a buddy out at the Reno Air races, and a couple T6 Texans hit each other, and both guys died. Not good. I had met one of the guys before, not a close friend. And then the Marines lost an F-35 today out of, I believe, Beaufort. Crashed outside of Charleston, and the guy ejected, which is good. But not a good day for aviation mishaps. Okay. Like I said, full week of live trading and training. Nobody else does this. Why? Because they're embarrassed. they actually want you to look at 52 PowerPoint slides and then buy. And then once you get in, go, oh man, this sucked. Not me. You're going to get everything for free this week. So my mission objective by the time we wrap up on Wednesday is to show you how you can profit while others panic with incoming volatility. We're going to talk about currently what's going on strategically in the market around the globe here in the United States, and how things are pretty bad out there. Well, unless you're Joe Biden and his press secretary, Sideshow Bob, just talking about how great everything is. We all know better, and we can make a ton of money with what's going to happen. If you're not familiar with options, this is why you're here. I'm going to teach you how to trade options, and you can make money no matter if the market's going up, down, or sideways. Obviously, if you just buy stock, you also can make money three ways. It's called the buy, hope, and pray method. You buy a stock, you hope it goes up, and if it doesn't, you pray. That's why I'm going to teach you how to trade options. So we got a lot of Q4 end of year volatility coming in here, and we're going to profit off of it. And I'm going to show you our proprietary trading methodology and our risk management process with actionable trades. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about how I can take somebody, if it's you, with a little bit of market knowledge, stocks or options, and in a short amount of time, turn you into a steely-eyed fighter pilot or a steely-eyed options trader. Demo do. In the United States military, that's how you learn. I'm going to demonstrate, then you go do. So in the training, it's demonstration. And then during our live trade briefs this week, during the trading day, we're going to talk actionable trades. Obviously, the market's not open right now, or at least U.S. equities aren't open. So that's why I do the welcome aboard brief on a Sunday night. And then we get airborne and we start trading. So, okay. Strategic picture, man. We could sit here for the full hour tonight and going through everything that's awful. And as I said, we're going to capitalize on it because it's going to be great. Now, let me lead with this. I'm a little bipolar, and so am I. What do I mean? I'm going to tell you how I feel as Wiz, right? As an American. I'm going to introduce myself in a couple seconds here if you don't know me. But I'm also Gordon Gekko. I help run a multi-billion-dollar volatility arbitrage firm in the Chicago Board of Trade. I'm Gordon Gekko, man. If bad's going to happen, I'm going to profit. I love it. As American, I don't love it. Government shutdown's coming, folks. I saw, my Sunday morning with my coffee and watching the Sunday talk shows, and we have a potential government shutdown coming with Speaker of the House McCarthy and Chuck Schumer in the Senate, and obviously Joe Biden in the White House, man. We always do this. It's kabuki theater. We go up to the brink or sometimes over it, and then, of course, we eventually get a deal. But you can trade off of that, okay? We're going to get into that this week. We might have this week of a little bit of still calm left, and then usually mid-September, to first or second week in October is what I call a shit show. The market usually implodes, and then after that, we get a nice end of year Santa Claus rally, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, winter solstice. Pick your holiday. So we're going to have a cool couple months ahead here, and I'm really excited for it. Raging inflation. Did you see the inflation numbers last week? If you didn't, they were up. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play, right? So the Democrats will tell you, well, we did have 9% inflation up here. So we only have 3.6. And for the past 3 months, inflation has done that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Federal Reserve is most likely not done, right? That's their stated objective is like, we don't want a reflash of inflation. We want to make sure it's beat down. Based on what happened last week, it ain't beat down, folks. And that's why the market pulled back on Friday. We had 2 bad inflation days last week, and the market kind of sat there. And I told my TGO members, I'm like, market ain't going to dig this. The market will care eventually. And Friday, it started to care. Interest rates are at 20-year highs, folks. Last time interest rates were this high, I was flying Hornets out of Naval Air Station Fort Worth. Okay? Political clown car. Unless you've been living on the other side of Mars with Elon Musk for the past, years, you know that this country's just tearing itself apart politically, which can translate into the market. I can't believe I'm sitting here in a live trade brief in 2023 talking about war in Europe, and it's going to get worse. War always gets worse before it gets worse. And guess what? Winter's coming in Europe and Ukraine and Eastern Europe, and it's awful. War sucks. It's a horror, and there's potential bad coming on. We got Iran getting $6 billion from the administration for a couple Americans, and they're going to use that money to most likely kill more Americans. And we have China flexing their muscles against Taiwan. So when I pick up my binoculars and I look down range, I don't see too much good, right? But I'm an options trader. I'm a fighter pilot. I plan for the worst. And if the best happens, I'm pleasantly surprised. If I sit here and plan for the best all the time, I'm going to get the crap beat out of me. And that doesn't happen that often. So this is a target-rich environment. If everything on that screen causes you to pause and go, whoa, no. Welcome to Top Gun Options, because everything on that screen is like, yay. Like I said, Wiz looks at all that list and goes, boo. We're in a lot of trouble. Gordon Gekko looks at that list and goes, we're going to print money. And I'm going to show you my personal portfolio, what it's been doing in the past couple months. As the market imploded, my portfolio exploded. So we can make money up, down, or sideways. Real quick, once I put the flight schedule up here, do me a favor and take a screenshot of it. You're looking at me in a window right now, and at the top, there's a little camera icon. This is Go To Webinar. Anything you're liking on the screen, hit the little camera icon, and I believe it saves that image to your desktop, I believe, or maybe my pictures or something. It goes on your computer. You can find it. Tonight, we're doing our welcome aboard brief. Like I said, I do it when the market's not open, so we can sit here and actually talk. Get to know me a little bit, what we do here at Top Gun Options, what our performance is like, and then Monday morning at 10 a.m., we're hitting it hard, right, with our regular live trade briefs. So welcome aboard tonight. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. is our weekly options brief. Tuesday at 10 a.m. is our primary brief. Tuesday night at 7, I'm going to give you a sample of what our full throttle training program looks like. 8 trade briefs where I talk about calls, I talk about puts, I talk about different options tactics. Not strategies, they're options tactics. So I'm going to give you a sample of what that training looks like. You should feel, especially if you're new to the markets or stocks or options, like you're drinking from a fire hose. That's what this training is supposed to get you, from drinking from a fire hose to a soda straw, okay? And then our final brief is going to be Wednesday at 10 a.m., AR, Accelerated Retirement. So even if you don't know anything about Top Gun Options, you can tell these portfolios each day of the week have kind of a different looking flavor to them. One's more tactical, weekly options. One's further dated, more longer term trades. That's accelerated retirement. And then primary is kind of in the middle. We trade short term tactically, and we can also have some long term bullish positions on. The link that you got in here with gets you into everything all week. And we send out an email. I believe it's automatically fires an hour before the brief. Okay. So same link for each brief. As I said, we're in GoToWebinar. If you want to go over to your little control panel, I believe it's on the starboard side or right for you land lovers. There's some handouts in there. I gave you our proprietary trade plan that's sitting in there, and also a blank trade sheet. You absolutely cannot do this without a plan. I'm wearing my Top Gun Options instructor shirt. If I could be Linda Blair and spin around, it says trading is combat on the back of my t-shirt. Trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. We're going to use the methodologies that I used flying combat sorties over the skies of Iraq and on the floor in Chicago, okay? So make sure you download all the stuff that I hand out to you, okay? Replay page. Wiz, I work for a living. Well, guess what? About 85% of our members work for a living. You can watch everything we do this week on the replay page. Here it is. There's the link. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. That's pretty easy to remember. Full throttle replay. You got it. Don't go look at this stuff right now. It's from the last quarters. Obviously, tonight's replay will be on here after we get done tonight. Okay. So, but these are from the last full throttle brief. So I also leave, you ready? I'll delete the top, 3 videos because they're old. I leave these on here. Wiz Initial Medicine Journey Debrief. You absolutely want to watch that. I'm going to tell you what that is in a couple seconds. And then down here, 5 February. Get long volatility, buy VIX, calls, grab the popcorn, and your mask. 5 February. Wow, look at this. Bearish trades on China, Apple. Do you know what February this was? February 3rd. I keep these replays on here. Why? Because I'm one of the only guys on the entire face of the planet that predicted the COVID market crash to the day. To the day. And we made millionaires here at Top Gun Options. So I keep these up here as evidence. I wrote a book about it. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, called COVID Crash, From Panic to Profit. I did outsider trading. I heard what was going on in Washington from some buddies who were literally there. I'm like, dude, Donald Trump and U.S. senators are saying that stuff's not coming here. They trust Xi. He's got a great backswing. Been to Mar-a-Lago. They said not to panic. They're lying. I'm like, oh, really? They were doing insider trading. Don't panic. Everything's fine. They'd call their broker, get out of everything, and they'd tell their wife, their kids, and everybody else. I did outsider trading. I told everybody at Top Gun Options, and even in all my free briefs, I'm like, they're lying to you. Get out. The market's going to implode. And what happened? We were right, and yeah. So nice little victory lap there. The smart money ain't that smart, folks. We are the smart money. So there's the replay page. To get started, a lot of people ask, like, how much money this, that, broker? Hey, man, I can't tell you how much money to start with. Most brokerage firms require like $1,000 to open an account, and I think maybe $2,000 total to trade on margin. Above that, it just depends on what you want to risk per trade. I'm going to show you this week my personal SOP, standard operating procedure, and how much I want to risk per trade. You are a single seat fighter pilot. You sign for your jet. You sign for your portfolio. I sign for my jet. I sign for my portfolio. Full Throttle is all about you sneaking on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange and watching Wiz and what I'm doing, right? That's how you learn, just like we talked about in the military. Demo, do. So make sure you have a brokerage account open that has a paper trading functionality, right? At E-Trade, if you open an E-Trade account, etrade.com/TopGun, you'll get $100,000 in Monopoly money. So you can go to what we call the simulator building. When I went to Pensacola, man, I read a bunch of books. I went to the simulator building. Then I could get into a real airplane and put my pink body at risk. Not before I did it in the simulated environment. So if you have a brokerage account, you should. Almost every brokerage today has paper trading functionality, or they call it simulator or whatever it's called. Finally, I'm going to, towards the end of tonight's brief, I'm actually going to make the sales pitch. Why? I'm going to get it out of the way tonight. This is the first time I'm doing this because it's funny because we only take 50. And the people who didn't get in last quarter automatically buy the first slots this time around. So I'm not going to prevent that from happening. I'm going to let everybody be able to get in early because once we get our 50 or Thursday, whichever sooner, we're done. We close the doors, and I'll see you guys next quarter if you want to join maybe in January or whenever we do our next full throttle training. Okay, so I'm going to give you the pitch tonight, and then we're going to get to work the rest of the week. Usually I save the pitch to the end, and all these I got some great debriefs like, no, tell everybody up front, and then go to work. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So no distractions. Make sure you silence this electronic nicotine that we call it, and let's get airborne. Here's a news flash, and I don't mean to be rude, but a lot of you don't understand this, and if you don't, I just don't know what I don't know how you function. No one cares more about your money than you. And I want that to sink in because, cocktail parties. Oh, I trade too. But, my brother-in-law manages my money. I'm like, well, that's pretty dumb. He does not care about your money as more as you do. What? And I have buddies that are registered financial advisors or Wiz, I'm a fiduciary and I have to, I don't want to hear any of that stuff. If you care about somebody else's money more than they do, they're weird. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if you're a registered financial advisor or whatever, your broker or your brother-in-law who manages all your money, if it goes to zero, does his money go to zero or is it yours? So again, this is not hard. Everything I'm going to show you to do this week, I'm a poor kid from South Jersey, South Philadelphia, political science major. This is not hard. You got to put in a little bit of effort, a little bit of brain power at the beginning. But once you get it, you get it. Trust me, when I went to Naval Air Station Pensacola on day one for Navy flight school, I'm like, for the love of God and all things holy, I'm an idiot and I don't get this. 15 years later, Top Gun graduate, all sorts of stuff like that. It's like breathing to me. So again, a little bit of effort at the beginning, but this is not that hard. You can do this on your own. Why are you paying somebody else to do what you can do? And I'm going to show you better. You can do absolutely better. Like I said, trading is a form of combat, folks. Why should you listen to me? Well, if you joined TGO and you followed everything we've been talking about since we got airborne, you're looking at about $6 million in profitable trades in 12 years. It's an average of a 78% annualized return. I'm going to show you my personal account here in a couple seconds. 65% year to date in a pretty crazy year, folks. So maybe I know what I'm doing a little bit. I'm going to show you. You're going to learn from my stupidity, right? In a fighter squadron, when we do something wrong, we fess up. Here's what I did wrong on this mission. I'm going to tell everybody about it so you all don't do it. That's how we accelerate each other's learning. We debrief in a fighter squadron. I'm going to show you how the wrong trading instruments can actually destroy you, right? And how you can blow out. Trading options, folks, we always have an ejection seat. I'm going to show stocks can go to zero, man. Stocks are pretty dangerous, especially if you're in a bad stock. Options, in my opinion, are a hell of a lot safer than trading stocks. Took this stuff from the military, took it to Wall Street, put it into a nice bite-sized container called Full Throttle, and that's what you're going to get access to. Really isn't for everyone, folks. This is why I open up the doors. I don't want to give you 52 PowerPoint slides, you buy something, and then in a month from now go like, oh, I hate this. You're getting a full week of trading so you know whether or not you're going to get on board. And like I said, we don't take everyone, and everyone doesn't want to be here, and that's fine. We are absolutely destroying the smart money year to date. You ready for this? How many of you want to be in a hedge fund, right? Now, you might hear it at a cocktail party like, oh, I'm in a hedge fund. Like, oh, it's some sort of snooty, oh, the rich, the elite. Let's take a look at the Barclay Hedge Fund Index. These numbers are through the end of August. Through the end of August, folks, here's 2023. Look at these returns. 5.35%. That's 1,200 hedge funds reporting as of this report. 5.35%. Now, let me be blindingly clear about a hedge fund. The term hedge fund means that they should be making money if the market's going up, down, or sideways. right? You don't make a ton of money. You're supposed to make money consistently. So, I'll help them out a little bit, but this is obscene. Look at 2019, 10, 11, 10, -8. That's embarrassing. 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at those returns for a second. Do you really want to be in a hedge fund? Here's my personal brokerage account, 8465. Here's the Dow Jones year to date, 4%. Here's the S&P. Wow, that's a respectable 16%. The NASDAQ, 31%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ year to date has been the story of the year. Or you could be trading here at TOPGUN Options, 65% return. I want you to look at how my portfolio is done in the past month and a half right there. Why do you care about how it's done in the past month and a half? Because I'm going to go show you why you care that it's popped in the past month and a half. What has gone on in the past month and a half, folks? Let me bring up SPX right here. So as this happened, that happened in my account. I prefer blood in the streets. Let's be blindingly clear, folks. Everybody's a genius when the market's going up, aren't they? CNBC, Fox Business News, hey, the market's going up. Everybody's making money. We're all smart. Boom, boom, boom. Some volatility. People get destroyed. People get wiped out. This whole June through August rally, it was the Magnificent Seven. Like Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA. It was all like, this was a tech rally. I've been doing this for over 3 decades, folks, and I'm like, it'll end. Tech rallies, unless this is the first tech rally ever in the history of tech that it's just going to keep going. No, of course this was going to happen, but people don't believe it. People got in at the top here, folks, and now they're getting wiped out. I just showed you my personal account, how as the market pulls back, we can make money. And just to show you that men lie, numbers don't. There is let me pull up my E-Trade. Right over here. There you go. Account 8465 right there. Your individual brokerage account, 8465, is up 65% from January 1st to 2023, folks. And you can see the monthly cum versus them. So, ladies and gentlemen, we outperform the market as it's going down. Again, everybody can make money except really stupid people in an up market. It's when the market starts to turn and the volatility creeps in. Giddy up. It is a target-rich environment. Show of hands, how many of you would like to be up 65% year to date? Blowing away hedge funds and blowing away the NASDAQ, which everybody's like, holy crap, the NASDAQ's really outperforming this year. I'm like, or you could suck and be in the NASDAQ. Awesome. Yeah, obviously the answer is yeah. So I'm going to teach you how to do this, folks. It ain't hard. For all the new folks, let's go really quick. I'm Wiz, Matthew Buckley. My parents, I think they loved me. They didn't name me Wiz. I earned that call sign, and I'm not going to tell you how. Flying the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy, 15 years or so, graduated from the Top Gun course as an adversary pilot or a bad guy, and I did a couple deployments to the Persian Gulf for Operation Southern Watch, and then also served in Operations Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. You don't join the Navy to get rich. You join the Navy to serve your country, see the world, all sorts of cool stuff. But I knew I needed to do something. I ain't getting rich in the Navy and flying fighters and doing all that good stuff, but let's start getting interested in finance. Always interested in finance. My dad would read the, Atlantic City Press as I sat, across from him, eating my Apple Jacks, and I'd see on the back page all the stock. I'm like, Dad, what are those things? Hieroglyphics? He's like, it's stock. If you went and got a Happy Meal today, and you own shares in McDonald's, you could make money as an investor. I'm like, that always fascinated me. So on active duty, and now I'm going to really age myself. In 1991, I drove down to Naval Air Station Key West as a brand new 21-year-old ensign, and I sent, $25, $50, set up an automatic investment in the USAA Aggressive Growth Mutual Fund. And that was the start of my investing until I'm going out with my girlfriend, who's my current wife and final wife, obviously. But at the time, she loved Ann Taylor and loved American Express, clearly. So I'm like, why am I paying a mutual fund manager a fee to do what I could do? So I started picking my own stocks. And then I started applying everything I was learning as a fighter pilot, having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning, knowing when to get out of something before it got worse, or if it's better before it got worse, and managing risk. Now, you might be sitting there going, that's a picture of Wiz inverted over Nevada, over Top Gun, and he's going to talk to me about managing risk. Yeah, man. Options traders, fighter pilots, we want to minimize all known risks. Now, Donald Rumsfeld has a famous quote, there's unknown unknowns. There's always unknown unknowns in trading, in combat. But if you minimize all the knowns, you're setting yourself up for success. So I applied all that to my trading, and I was crushing it, absolutely crushing it. I'm like, this ain't that. What am I missing? How am I making all this money on the side? And why isn't everybody doing this, right? Well, Top Gun options started as a result of a horrific tragedy in this country. Just celebrated not celebrated, that's a horrible thing to say. Memorialized, recognized, remembered the 22nd anniversary of the horrific attacks on this country. I was getting ready for my first flight as a pilot for American Airlines. I was packing in my bedroom in Keller, Texas, when my wife came in and said, "Hey, you better come look at the TV. A plane hit the World Trade Center." And I'm like, "Leave me alone, woman. It's bad weather or a small airplane." And she kind of gave me a look like. So I went out there and I saw what you all saw. Beautiful day in New York City, not a cloud in the sky, a big smoking hole. And I stood there and I'm going through my mental aviation checklist of how that happened. And the next plane hit. In the blink of an eye, I knew we were under attack. It was clear. I ran into the bedroom, pushed my American Airlines uniform out of the way in the plastic, still in the plastic. I keep that as a memory. And I grabbed my flight suit. I was flying F-18s for the reserves out of Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base, Fort Worth. So I raced out there, got out there, my old Porsche just before they closed it, and went to a combat posture. And me and another F-18 buddy made it out there. And we called down to maintenance and said, get two jets fully fueled and ready to go. And the Air Force guys next door, the 457, the fighter squadron, they were tied into NORAD, right? They're Air Force guys. They're rich. They got money. They're tied into NORAD. So they said, Wiz, there's four of us. What do you got? I'm like, it's me and Gruff. They said, get over here. We'll brief. We'll give you some bullets and some missiles. Gruff and I were just going to try and get airborne on our own and ram into planes if we had it to, man. It was, but the Air Force being, we're joint. They hooked us up with missiles and bullets, and they scrambled first. The F-16 guys got airborne first, and Gruff and I went down to the end of the runway, fully armed, ready to go, engines turning. When they hit bingo fuel and we're going to land, we were going to take off. But by the time they hit bingo fuel, everything in the country had already landed. So it was a horror. It was just, a couple days later, I scrambled and I forced a small plane to land that was flying in prohibited airspace. I scrambled and it made national news. Why did I bring this up? Well, a week later, I got a photocopied letter from American Airlines HR that said, "Dear crew member, you're furloughed." And if you don't know anything about the airline industry, furloughed's a polite term for laid off. So in the blink of an eye, I lost everything, right? No job, no health care, no nothing, man. I was a young guy. What little money we saved from the military, we put as a down payment to our first home in Texas, and boom, now I'm in a lot of trouble. But guess what? Stop feeling sorry for yourself, Wiz. Seeing what was going on at ground zero, and I'm like, dude, you're alive. Get up and stop feeling sorry for yourself, man. There are thousands of people that have it a hell of a lot worse than you, dude. So what's the moral of the story? I started trading full time. I had to pay the bills, man. I thankfully, I could reserve bum. I was going into the squadron more. We got more money. We ended up getting mobilized for Operation Iraqi Freedom. But initially I was like, we're broke and I got to do this for real. Well, guess what happened? I was doing so good. my methodologies, everything I thought everybody else would kind of do, because why wouldn't you be doing kind of the same things that I do? I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility options trading firms in the world, headquartered right there in the Chicago Board of Trade. That's our trading floor right there. If you've seen the movie Batman, you know that building is the CBOT, right? The Chicago Board of Trade. I had a great time when I was there. I helped build a hedge fund. When I was there, I helped build the retail brokerage. Some of you might have traded at a while ago, called Options House. And it was it was interesting, man. It was definitely a different experience for me. Managing director of strategy, and then the founder and CEO of the Options News Network. We were essentially the CNBC for options. CNBC's 99.9% stock. The little options that they have were John and Pete Najarian, and they booted those guys. So I was the CNBC for options. We shot on the floor of the CBOE and the CBOT, and I gave a behind-the-scenes look at what was going on in the market and telling you all. And it was cool. I had an absolute blast. And I jokingly tell people I was Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. I was Valentine, poor kid off the street going up to the smart money. Let me tell you a secret. There ain't no such thing as a smart money. It makes my skin crawl, like watching CNBC or Fox Business News when they introduce somebody, legendary investor, or, famed. I'm like, you mean that guy who got it completely wrong or 90 million times? We are the smart money, folks. So anyway, let's keep going. And then we have a lot to talk about. This is when we left Chicago. This is my favorite picture of us. I'm like, you know what? In a massive options trading firm like this, I'm like, I got my own way of doing things. I can teach retail people how to do this. I'm going to strike out on my own and start TOPGUN Options. And that's exactly what we did. This young kid is 23 years old. He wants to fly for the Navy. He's looking to go in officer candidate school. We just dropped my boy Jack off at CU Boulder with Coach Prime. He's a freshman at University of Colorado. He's an NROTC. He also wants to fly for the Navy like his old man. I swear I didn't force these kids to do this. I actually tried to steer them away from the military, and that's a separate conversation. My daughter Keely is 15, going on 29, and she's not allowed to leave the house. she's a piece of work. As I said, I've written a couple books. One is called From Sea Level to Sea Level. And the title is what the book is, how I went from a F-18 cockpit essentially to the trading pits in Chicago. Everything I learned in the military and how I applied it to being an executive on Wall Street. And then there's the book I told you about, COVID Crash. Panic to Profit, man. We destroyed it. We absolutely destroyed it during COVID. And God takes care of fools, drunks, and sailors. You know why? Because I've never made that much money in my life than COVID, the COVID market crash. It's obscene. I real quick, I am the host of the Max Afterburner podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast. It's ranked globally in the top 2.5% of all podcasts. Give it a listen. If you're in traffic or working out at the gym, it's called the Max Afterburner podcast. And that segues to obscene amounts of money. So obscene amounts of money made during the COVID crash for TGO members, not just me. Every trade that I did, this is how our investment club started, which we'll talk about in a couple seconds here, because I'd be getting ready to end a live trade brief as the market's going down 3,000 points. People are like, no, don't go. How do we keep going? I'm like, I got a life to live, man. I'm going to go to the beach and trade. And so we came up with investment clubs. But let me talk to you real quick about the obscene money. 16 aviators in my career, best friends, acquaintances, in-betweens, lost. Not one combat loss. Weather, stupidity, mechanical, more stupidity, G-lock, a lot of trauma in the military, in my service. I lost a sister to a drunk driver. My middle sister, Monica, she was killed. She was a freshman at Villanova University in Pennsylvania. Destroyed my family. I was going to be a freshman in high school. A tough time for a young man. It was a horror in my life. My parents were never, my parents were done. Unfortunately, during that time, some sexual assault trauma as a child. So I took that in the military losing a sister, some sexual assault, trauma, 16 buddies dead, 3 suicides. 3 F-18 brothers committed suicide. Eric Swenson, Swede. His picture is right over there. He's a groomsman in my wedding. Beautiful wife and 5 kids put a bullet in his head. Why am I telling you this? Because around the time all this obscene money came in, I'm like, I'm not big quoting scripture, but I know this part. It'll be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. I said, I got to do something about veteran suicide. At the time, 22 veterans per day were taking their own lives. Turns out, at least according to the University of Alabama and Duke University, it's double what Uncle Sam's telling us. We're going to run out of veterans, folks. So you pick a number, 1, 22, or 44 veterans taking their own lives. So with that obscene amount of money, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw it over the fence, and we're going to start a foundation. So you can go to NoFallenHeroesFoundation.org and learn more about it, but we're going to talk about it Wednesday in Accelerated Retirement. Why? Here's the summary of the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. We provide healing grants for veterans, first responders, and their family members, because the families serve too, to do psychedelic-assisted therapy. I went to Mexico 2.5 years ago with Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor, if you've read the book or seen the movie. Jared Taylor, one of the founders of Black Rifle Coffee, another Navy SEAL veteran, and an NFL player, NFL star, who was suffering from horrific CTE. Here's the bottom line up front. Saved, changed my life. I'm not one to throw this sentence around too lightly. Born again. Clearly. Destroyed alcohol. It cured my trauma. It was 40 years of therapy in a weekend. I got back from that retreat and I started, it was called the Top Gun Fighter Foundation initially, but that's a little too fighter pilotish sounding. So I'm like, you know what? Let's change the name. It's the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. So you'll hear more about this, especially if you join, because at the end of October, we're going to be doing our first healing retreat in the United States, in Colorado. Thank you, Colorado, for making it legal, because we've been going to Costa Rica, we've been going to Mexico, and I'm excited to start healing our heroes at home. Okay, so that's me. And how long did that take? And I went a little long. I didn't mean to go that long. I got a little winded, but you're not going to hear any more of that this week. Now you know who I am. You know what I do, the background, my background, Top Gun Options background. You've seen a little bit about our portfolios. So let's get into the meat of what we're doing here at Top Gun Options and this week ahead. How do we accelerate learning? Like I said, demo, do. You just don't go do. Folks, that's how you lose, right? That's why I tell people, I'm like, open a paper trading account. Do not just get airborne and start risking real capital, man. Get demo. Let's try and then do for real. All right. So demo, do. Like I said, showing up to Naval Air Station Pensacola. It's funny because one of the guys in my initial flight school class was from Montana. I think he graduated from the University of Montana. His first flight in an airplane was from Montana to get to flight school. Dude has like never even seen an airplane before. And in about 6 months, he's a steely-eyed killer in an aircraft because of a building block approach that they take. Academics, simulator, right? Before you get out in a $60, $70, $80 million fighter jet, you're going to do it in the simulator first, okay? Before you even type this question, I'm going to answer it. How will I know when I'm ready to trade real capital? I don't know. Only you will know. Some people are like, dude, I paper traded for a couple days. Done. I got it. Some people are like, I did it for a month just to make sure I'm good to go. I don't know the answer to that, folks. You ready for this? Again, how old I am. I used to call on the phone to get stock quotes before Al Gore invented the internet. So we didn't have no paper trading. So most of my early mistakes were with real money. You are getting to stand on the shoulders of older people like me. So building block approach, ladies and gentlemen, is how we accelerate your learning. Okay. I didn't, even though I'd like to, tell people in a bar I was born the world's best fighter pilot. Clearly, you are trained. Fighter pilots are trained. Doctors are trained. Plumbers are trained. This is not, you're not going to get educated this week, folks. Financial education, like, this is a financial education firm. I'm like, that's offensive to me. We train. The world is full of educated derelicts, and many of them run our institutions, universities, and colleges. Training gives you a skill, education, not necessarily. Okay. So, in the hands of a properly trained individual, your brokerage account, that fighter jet, can be a lethal weapon. And that's exactly what we're going to do. The building block approach that we take, we actually just wrapped up last week, the most recent full throttle training. For a week and a half straight, I did 8 sessions. So as soon as you're able to join, either tonight, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, before we close the doors, you're going to get, here's your building block approach. This is the market. These are calls. These are puts. These boom, boom, boom. Folks, this is the building block approach. So step by step training, okay? It takes a building block approach. I'm not airdropping you in the middle of Afghanistan with a rifle going, good luck. We're going to start in basic training, and we're going to work our way up. As we're doing this training, 8 sessions, they're about an hour, hour and a half each. We're going to be in live trade briefs during the day, when you're not looking at these training sessions, right? We're going to practically apply in our live trade briefs this week what's going on in the training. Demo, do. That is how you accelerate your experience. Trust me, I go around and play Secret Squirrel at some other financial education firms, and it's an absolute shit show, folks. I don't know how, no wonder they have so much churn, and I'm not going to sit here and bore you with thousands of case studies that I grab screenshots or people email me nice things to say. Like, I finally found you, man. I've been wandering around this financial education desert for too long and wasting too much money. So if that's you, welcome home. Okay, real quick, what we look like, our operational structure, training. On the left side of the fence, you're in a training environment. We have a program called Solo Amazon. I know I'm seeing some familiar faces from our Solo Amazon service. For all the political science majors in the crowd, what do we trade in Solo Amazon? It's like when Bugs Bunny would ask, who's buried in Grant's tomb? So Solo Amazon, it's only $97 a month. It is a service where we just trade that stock, because technically that's the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life, okay? And then in the training environment, we have what you're learning about this week called Full Throttle, okay? Live trade briefs and those 8 training sessions in the academic setting, all right? Then when you're ready to get airborne and go, you know what? I think I got it. I got my paper trading account opened, or I have one with my brokerage firm. Maybe it's time to start firing some real capital and putting some money at risk. Then you can jump to the right side of the fence, and we have what are called investment clubs. We have 2 of them. One is called the Hunters, which you can get access to this week, and the other is called Max Afterburner. That's our lifetime. That's down the road. It's an investment, and you'll end up there eventually. We have like 250 members in there right now. It is awesome. Both of these have their genesis in the COVID crash. This didn't exist when the COVID crash happened, and I'd be like, all right, we just made 50 grand in this live trade brief. I'm going to the beach, and I'll be trading from the beach. And people are like, no, don't close the room. I'm like, first of all, I can't tell you what to trade because that's illegal. I can't give an investment advice. This is a training environment. And the attorneys were like, no, dude, here's what you do. Legally, you can open an investment club and be a member of it with everybody else. I'm like, son of a. So that's how these came about, which was awesome. Folks, you're going to get access to the Hunters this week if you join Full Throttle. I'll show you that offer here in a little bit. And that's kind of for somebody who's like, you know what, I want to see what the real firing going on is outside of the training environment. So tonight I'll show you how you can do that, and I'll remind you as we go through the week. Okay, so that's kind of that's our squadron, and that's exactly what it looks like. Okay, here's the normal Full Throttle schedule, but I moved it all to the left for Full Throttle week, just so we can do Monday through Wednesday. But here's the normal flight schedule here at Top Gun Options. We do the PLTB, the primary live trade brief, every Tuesday at 10. Weekly options every Wednesday at 10, and AR, Accelerated Retirement, Thursday at 10. Solo Amazon, which is not part of Full Throttle, is Mondays at 10. But tomorrow we're going to do Full Throttle this week. So this week isn't, quote, a normal Full Throttle week. It's open up for free to all you folks. But reminder, solo Amazon, Mondays at 10, not included in Full Throttle. So I kind of move stuff around for this week, okay? And it's not, if you're a skier, you're like, wait a minute, intermediate, advanced, but nah, it's time-based. Like weekly options, tactical. We're going to do a weekly options brief tomorrow. I'm going to put on some trades tomorrow that I might close tomorrow. I might hold until Friday. They're tactical. PLTB, a little bit of both. Shorter dated trades and maybe a couple years out. And then AR, obviously, is more conservative, longer dated trades. And we'll talk about that on Wednesday. Okay? All right. So how? That's the toughest thing, right? People, most investors wake up in the morning, put their bunny slippers on, take a sip of coffee, looking at CNBC or Fox Business News or Bloomberg going, all right, I just don't even, where do you start? How do we target profits in this, what's going to be a very, very volatile environment for the next couple months? Whitney, yes, those are all Eastern times. Absolutely. Everything done is in Eastern time. So train, fight, win, man. TFW. Aviators use checklists, right? And we also use a lot of acronyms. It helps us remember stuff. So train, fight, win. Now let's break that down. Train. I'm going to train you how to be an options trader, okay? Our methodology, ladies and gentlemen, I stole from the military. I borrowed from the military. It's called SOT. Strategic, operational, tactical. If you're not currently a TGO member, I guarantee you are that person at the bottom. You are very tactical. You don't know what you're doing for lunch tomorrow, let alone what you should be investing in 2, 3, 5 years down the road, folks. Very, very tactical. And that means you burn out, man. You're not disciplined. You're not managing risk. You're very tactical. Wow, that guy's got a nice suit talking to Jim Cramer. I'm going to buy what that guy just said to buy. Little did you know that he's got a ton of that position. And of course he wants you to buy it because misery loves company. We're done. I'm going to break you of being a tactical trader. Here's how you're going to start trading after this week. Strategic. In our briefs this week, here's the flow. First 10, 5, 15, I don't know, minutes. It depends on what's going on. I'm going to treat you like a general in these briefs or an admiral. You're going to be sitting there with your cigar, boots up on the desk, and I'm going to be giving you an intelligence brief. What's going on around the globe? Economically, politically, militarily. Each one of those verticals, economically, politically, military around the globe, I've seen in 3+ decades of doing this, impact our markets. You remember the Greek debt crisis? Do you remember the Brexit vote? Do you remember Russia invading Ukraine? Do you remember Iran attacking U.S. bases in Iraq? Folks, I can sit here for hours and tell you, you got to know what's going on around the globe. The price of oil. Last week, Putin, Russia, and OPEC, Russia isn't part of OPEC, said, you know what, we're cutting production. Holy crap. Oil went through the roof. Oil goes through the roof. What happens to airline stocks? Gas is going to go. You have got to know what's going on, folks. It always cracks me up that people who are very, very tactical traders are like, oh my God, why am I getting destroyed in my portfolio? I'm like, you didn't know X, Y, and Z was going on around the world? No, fail. After we do 5, 10, 15, depends on what's going on in the world, strategic level, we're going to peel back the onion one layer and get operational. What's that mean? What's going on here, man, in the United States, domestically, economically, and politically? It's funny. I think I've weeded most of these people out every once in a while during a full throttle, because this week you're going to hear about my politics. Love them or hate them, folks. I print money. Politics drives the markets. I love people. Again, I think I weeded most of them out. They don't come anymore. They're like, I can't stand your politics. Guys, talk about the trades. I'm like, are you an idiot? You can't separate the two. What's going to happen in the next 2.5 weeks? Government shutdown, most likely. The volatility index, the VIX, most likely will explode. The market will most likely pull back. That's free money. Why wouldn't you talk about that? And so ditch I don't want to talk about politics. I have no idea how you trade if you're not trading politics. So what's the Fed doing? What's going on with interest rates? How are earnings looking? What's going on in Washington, D.C.? Boom, 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 boom. Again, depends on how long that goes based on what's going on in the United States. And then, and only then, do we get tactical and trade. And I gave you the trade plan over in the downloads or the handout section, folks. We have a 7-step proprietary trade plan. I'm not going to go through that tonight. You know when I'm going to go through it? Tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the live trade briefs when we're actually firing real trades. Again, I don't charge for this week, and people don't like me for it in this industry. I'm like, what are you afraid of? You try and get somebody's money first, and then they realize you're crappy? I don't want any of that. I'm giving you a week free. This is your trial. This is your trial at Top Gun Options. Then we trade, and I'm going to show you our 7-step trade plan, okay? So train. We look at fundamentals, okay? It's kind of old and stodgy, isn't it, though? Wiz, fundamentals are our parent stock market. Price to earnings ratio. I mean, if you looked at some PEs of some names, they're obscene. I get it. I trade Amazon. I own a lot of Amazon. The fundamentals on paper, you're like, huh? But it's Amazon. You have to dig underneath it. But math still matters, right? Fundamentals still matter. Budweiser, that nerd Bill Gates. I don't like beer. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation bought $100 million worth of Bud stock last week because he's virtue signaling, trying to, prop it up. Even after I see report after report like Costco, all these other, they're not even stocking the shelves with it anymore. So math matters. So we got to look at fundamentals. And sometimes fundamentals are disconnected from reality, but not for long. And you'll hear me. It's funny because one of my members, Paul, PR, came up like with a page of wizisms that he wrote down. So there's a whole, they actually had, my students have a page of wizisms and you're going to learn them, but math matters. Volatility. If you want to impress people at a cocktail party, you use the word volatility. Hey, volatility is rising. It's uncertainty, right? Volatility means uncertainty. So we'll look, as an options trader, we love volatility. I showed you my personal account as the market went down for the past month and a half, 2 months. Mine went up even more and blew away all the other indices because it's like a hurricane coming. I love being the insurance company, not if a hurricane hits, but right. We love increasing premiums. It's a target-rich environment. So we'll look at volatility. Technical analysis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are people like CMTs, certified market technicians. I got a buddy that's a reverse dojo with a whatever twist. I mean, there are people who, let me just tell you how the pros think about technical analysis. Most of the pros. If you mention the word technical analysis in my volatility arbitrage firm, they would have thrown you out the window, right? The guy that owned the firm, I'm like, do you look at technical analysis at all? He was like, I should kill you. He's like, we used to burn witches too. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody lets you trade off the left side of a chart. Does anybody have a brokerage account where you can trade off like, oh yeah, I saw that the market was going to implode here? I look at technical analysis. It's in my scan. I have a large cockpit with different indicators, fundamentals, volatility, TAs in there, but it ain't some massive deciding factor. I like to tell people the way I trade is like in one of those big AWACS, the big radar planes. It's like an airliner that looks like a UFO is trying to carry it away. There's like 30 dudes and ladies in the back of that plane, all looking at different sensors. And if I was in that thing as the battle commander, you take all that information in. But technical analysis, folks, where do you make money on the screen? Here. You don't make money off the left side of a chart, folks. We got to project our thoughts forward in space and time and put trades on today, right? So this, I get it, and I use a little bit of it, but it ain't some massive determining factor, technical analysis for me, okay? So I hope I don't. I got, my buddies, I'll joke about it, but they get it. So technical analysis, and then finally, the full throttle training briefs. Demo do. You get access to the 8 sessions that you're going to watch again. You're going to watch 20 times because people are like, dude, I watch those things all the time, and I pick stuff up each time. And in the live trade briefs, you're practically applying. I watched the bull put spread lecture last night, and Wiz is doing a bull put spread in the live trade brief. Awesome. Demo do. Okay. So train. Now, let's go look real quick at what is going on in the market. So this is the market. We had this June, July kind of rip your face off rally. It was the Magnificent Seven, as I said. Then what? August 1st, man, boom, gave some back, and now we're chopping. Okay? So this is the Q4 full throttle training. I want to ask you all a question before I tell you anything else. Where is it? Right here. All right. So I'm going to select right here. What is your, let me launch this poll. What is your strategic mindset for the fourth quarter? Bullish means you think it's going to go up. Bearish, we're going down. Volatile means we're going to whip around, man. Neutral means we might just kind of chop sideways. And then I'm giving you a bottom one. Short-term bearish, government shutdown, and then maybe a resulting Santa Claus rally. Okay? Bullish, market up. Bearish, market down. Volatile, all over the place. Or we're just going to kind of hover sideways. Or option A, B, C, D, E. All right, a couple more seconds. Bullish, bearish, volatile, neutral. I love seeing these poll results come in. It's like a market. It's like I'm looking at a stock ticker here. All right, about 5 more seconds. Bullish, bearish, volatile, or neutral. All right. Well, a couple last-minute votes there. And closed. Let me share it. Now you know how we have a market. Look at that, man. 9% bullish, 25 bearish, 25 volatile. That's a coin flip between those two. 5% neutral, 48% short-term bearish. And I allowed multiple choices. So 48% short-term bearish. Wow. With a end-of-year rally. I love, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen right now is how we have a market, isn't it? That's exactly how we have a market. Some people up, some people down. So I'm really excited for this. All right. I bring that up because now we're going to start talking about getting to the innards of it. Train, fight. How do we fight, man? You can't win if you're losing, right? That's kind of a wizism right there. Is that your second one of the night? You can't make money if you're losing money. And some of you might be sitting there like, well, that doesn't make, it makes perfect sense. Step 1, rule 1 in trading, don't lose money. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. Rule 3, manage risk. Rule 4, maybe make money. Capital preservation, ladies and gentlemen, is where you need to be, right? Let me ask you a question. That's a Canadian F8. Let me go look at, where's my allocation and risk? Is it on this one? Not that one. Let me go down to this one, 8465. That's my account right now. Yeah. Look at cash, folks. Look at the pie chart over here. Right now, I am sitting at about 90% cash. 90% cash, folks. Why? Because there's a storm a-coming, okay? And at folks, even when the market's going straight up and everybody's a genius, I'm only 50-50. I always have about 50% in cash hanging. Always. I am never fully invested. I want a nice piece of cash for what? Blood in the streets. Right? That's a Warren Buffett, man. You need to be buying when everybody's panicking. I've learned that the hard way decades ago, and now it's a fact. You should, and 60-40, 80-20. I'm 5% bond, whatever. I trade equities. I don't do any of that stuff. I am in 90% cash right now, folks, for a reason. This Canadian F-18 pilot was practicing for an air show. He was doing a high alpha pass, nose parked up and doing about 85 knots. If you were in your car on the runway underneath him, you would have passed him. Just hovering in the air in this Hornet, man. Slow speed handling capability of the Hornet was fantastic. Compressor stall and a motor. In the blink of an eye, he rolled. In the blink of an eye, that jet rolled. In the blink of an eye, he pulled those ejection handles. When, let me ask you all, when did that Canadian F-18 pilot make the decision to get out of this aircraft? Type it in the chat box. When did the pilot decide to eject out of that aircraft? Look at that. That's his seat pulling away. Boom. Look at that. Unbelievable. Let's see what some of these answers are. Mike got it. Nope, not when the engine failed. Sandra, you got it. Yep. You got it, William. Ladies and gentlemen, that pilot made that risk management decision in the brief. Before he ever strapped that jet on, folks, he did not make that decision airborne. He made it on the ground in the brief, sipping on his venti upside down caramel macchiato, folks. If I am in the slow speed, high alpha pass and I lose a motor, I got to get out of the jet. They did the math. If he had waited a half of a blink of an eye, he would have ejected into the ground. He made, exactly, Steve, training. Folks, what's this have to do with trading? Ladies and gentlemen, everything you're going to see this week, before we get into any trade, we know when we're getting out, either for profit or minimum loss. We're not even going to fire a trade, and we're going to have everything mapped out. Why? Because of that. 90% of trading, folks, is emotional. If you could take the emotions out, you're going to be lethal. I guarantee you. Not, oh, well, this trade's going against me, but, Amazon doesn't hate me. It'll come back. Amazon doesn't know you exist, man. They steamroll your house. No. Take the emotion out. So we are going to manage risk before we get into every trade. Who needs to manage risk? You. Your portfolio, mine, 90% on cash right now in my personal account. Boom. We have a saying that these SOPs, standard operating procedures, are written in blood. And it's kind of a macabre thing to say, but it's the truth. When that F-18 rolled off the flight line in 80 whatever in St. Louis, the emergency procedures section was probably a couple pages. Whatever the booger-eating engineers thought, like, well, if this happens, you can do this. Well, by the time I stopped flying that jet, I think the emergency procedures section was at least 100 pages. Why? Bad things happened. People did stupid things or something happened, and then you learn. So our SOPs that I'm going to teach you this week here at Top Gun Options are written in blood. Don't make the same mistakes that other people ahead of you did. We're going to share all this stuff for you. The first question you're going to see in every brief this week that I ask before I place a trade is, how much can I lose? Not, hey, how much profit can I? Nope, fail. I'm going to show you on our order tickets, our trade ticket, how much can I lose? First rule of investing. We already talked about it. Second, see the first rule. We want to make money consistently. Nice base hits, slow and steady wins the race. We ain't swinging for the fence, doing home run craziness, okay? Train, fight. Underneath fighting, I'm going to show you this week, and we don't have to dig too much into this because some of you might not even know what a credit spread is, right? But I'm going to show you, hey, with maybe like a $50,000 portfolio, maybe you only want to risk 5%, maybe 10% of your portfolio, or 5%, maybe $2,500. We're going to come, whatever it is, Wiz, I have a $5,000 portfolio. We'll talk about that. Carve out a certain percentage. The max risk in every trade should be an amount of money that you go, if I lose that, it's going to suck, but it ain't going to destroy me. That is step one of investing, folks. People, hey, Wiz, I'm in this trade. I'm like, what's your max loss? What? How much can you lose? Well, no, I can make a couple grand. That's not what I asked you. How much can you lose? All right. Finally, we're going to win, right? We're going to win or exit for minimum loss. Like I said, my historic rate over way too long is about 78% win rate. Okay. You're going to get blown away from this. Most professional traders shoot to win 60% of the time. I usually ask that question, but I don't even want to waste the time on it. Some people, when I ask, what percentage do you think professional traders want to win? Some people are like 100. I'm like, oh my God, that's insane. First of all, it's physically impossible. Some people are like 50. I'm like, then you never make money. 60%. I've been doing this for a long time, and most professional traders, because over time, if you're winning on 60% of your trades, you're doing pretty damn good. I bring that up because at 78, I make the pros look rather stupid. And always remember that, folks. Real quick, and we'll talk about this later in the week with our investment clubs. Our investment clubs are the best hedge funds I've ever seen. Why? We're trading our own money. I trade my own money. When I fired a guy in Chicago one time for losing $4 million in minutes on a bad biotech trade, he was gambling. I'm walking him out of the firm. And I'm like, dude, I had beers with the guy. He's a good dude. I'm like, what was that, dude? He's like, wasn't my money. And he was working down the street at a competing firm a couple weeks later. That's professional traders, folks. They ain't trading their money. Most of them aren't. We're also going to talk about when we take profit. All of this is getting done, folks, before we get in a trade. Again, you're going to join, and even if you don't join, I'm going to make you a better trader, I guarantee you, because you're doing all this stuff we didn't even place a trade yet. Trading is a form of combat, folks. Get your stuff together. I'm going to show you this week. Don't turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser, okay? I'm going to show you this live this week. We're going to be firing trades. We're going to be doing some awesome stuff. But warning, Will Robinson. Whenever I say warning or I give you a heads up about something, sit up in your chair. Go to Staples or Office Depot or whatever. Get a leather. I'm not a digital guy. Some people have Excel sheets. They put their trade plan in. Other people put it in Word document. There's something about me picking up a pen and writing in a journal like, all right, I got in the trade on this date. Here's what I'm getting out. When you look at your own handwriting a couple weeks from now and go, okay, well, this is what I said I was going to do in this trade. It kind of, that's you talking to you. I'm not a big electronic guy with trade plans and stuff. So go get a trade journal. I use these kneeboard cards from like the Fighter Squadron with a lot of my trades. Like, boom, there's my Amazon trade and all my intel on here. If you ever look at a fighter pilot flying, that's our desk, right? It's called a kneeboard. These 5x8 cards fit right on my knee. So I got all my trades on these things. So, okay. Like we're going to learn this week. I love Steve Miller Band. Go on, take the money and run. Nobody has gone broke taking a profit. Okay. What's this? Oh, Utah. So Utah, if you like the Blue Angels, Mark Provo, obviously call sign Utah, was a Blue Angel. He's a FedEx captain now. He was on a Fort Lauderdale layover a couple months ago. He's like, dude, I've been following you for years. I'm going to pull the trigger on that. I don't know shit about options. He sent me this text a couple weeks ago. Wiz, less than 20 trading days, up 15 grand on a 40 grand account. And of course, I'm like, hey, man, if you can do it, anybody can do it. But look at that, a 38% return. He's beating the NASDAQ, and he's blowing away every hedge fund. And this is a dude, he's a brilliant, Utah's a brilliant dude, but he's like, I don't know shit about options, man. And in a short amount of time, he's crushing it, folks. I love hearing that stuff. So real quick, again, I'm actually going to give you this pitch now, and then I'm done. I mean, I'll tell you how many slots are left, and I'll just remind you each day, if you haven't gotten your slot, here's the link to join and all that crap. But let's do this tonight so I can really focus the rest of the week. So, and again, case studies, you can go to Trustpilot. I think we have like over 100 reviews now. It's a 4.9 rating. There's one dude on there who hated my politics, and we threw him out because in Go to Training, when we do a regular live trade brief, we can all see each other's chat, and he was disruptive. He was a cranky dude. We booted him, and it says in the terms and conditions you can get booted. He charged back with his credit card company and lost. And then so he took to the internet to badmouth me, but it's like 99 5 stars and then that dude. So yeah, I do have a bad rating with one guy. But you can go read that stuff for yourself. What are these? Oh, real quick. All right, Dennis, $6,200 yesterday on the S&P 500, 22 grand for the past 3 trading days. Bob, I've seen several investment advisors over the years. None of them have paid much attention to my account. Much better off following Wiz and learning slowly on my own. Robert Metzger, his son's a Navy SEAL. He was keeping track of my Max Afterburner, the investment club trades. In 17 months, $791,000. That's COVID crash, folks. So that was the beginning of the investment clubs. I took a screenshot of that in that October. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I knew I was crushing it. I didn't know it was that good. Started with Wiz over 4 years ago, and I've made over $450,000 in that time. I haven't said it in a while, but thanks, Wiz. I love it. Quentin, Wiz, just joined 12 days ago with a small account, and I'm already up $6,000 already. So proud to have joined your squadron. See you at 10. Very happy to be here. Thank you for your honesty. I will not always agree with you, but never for one moment do I doubt your sincerity or your love of our great country and your deep desire to see your clients kick ass. In May, I have made 20 grand in options trades, could pay for lifetime in a month or so. So real quick, primary portfolio is up $268,000 with primarily our trades in the S&P 500, destroying it, folks. Trade a little Amazon, a little Goldman Sachs and VIX, but folks, the primary portfolio, I call them sniper shots. You're going to see it this week. What's a sniper shot? It's a quick market. Usually the market does something. The S&P 500 either opens up or down. And then 15, 20 minutes later, it usually turns and settles down. And then maybe another turn, and then you get the rest of the day. I take a couple snipes each morning, and I'm done for the day. A couple grand here, a couple grand there. It's about $250,000 a year in potential sniper profit. There's nothing hard about it at all. There's little skill involved, but the primary portfolio has a lot of the snipers in there. So $268,000 year to date in profitable trades. Weekly options, $144. Again, the biggest position in that portfolio, S&P 500. Also some Amazon, some Lulu, some Bud, some Target, and Apple. We were trading Bud and Target around their stupidity, and Lulu's too. Those were some targets of opportunity. But weekly options is the tactical model portfolio, right? And then AR, what do we have here? Accelerated retirement, about $149. Obviously, solo Amazon isn't part of full throttle training, but if you added solo Amazon in there, we're looking at over $600,000 in profitable trades year to date, destroying it. Now, I hate saying this, but it's the truth. First of all, we have losing trades. I have losing trades. Obviously, they're a lot less. But ladies and gentlemen, on none of these portfolios, net, look at all three of them, net, no losses. No losses. There are losing trades in there, right? But if you're printing money in S&P and you lose a couple trades, that's what I'm saying. This is like the first year I've never seen a red to the left. Jay, you gotta, for the sniper shots, you got to be above the 25K for the pattern day trading rule. Yeah, but Jay, we have tons of members that don't necessarily do those snipers, and I have a ton of trades outside of those snipers. Mainly, the snipers are in the hunters and the Max Afterburner group. We're not, I'll occasionally do a sniper in a live trade brief because I'm sitting here with my other screens up, like, all right, we're gonna take a break because the market's doing this, and I'm gonna fire. If I'm seeing a potential to make money, we're going to do it. But yeah, so don't worry if you can't do the snipers. That's an objective to get to. I've helped a bunch of people. Like they started with a 5 or 10 grand account, and now they're shooting snipers because they have more than the 25. So good question. Appreciate that. But we have a ton of trades outside of that. I shouldn't have even said that because the majority of our trading isn't that. That's mainly in the investment clubs. Everything's documented. I posted on the homepage so you can see my personal account and the portfolio accounts. Every quarter, end of each quarter, which I have to do. Wait, September. Yeah. End of this month, I'll post all my quarterly trades from my personal accounts as well, so you can see everything that I'm doing. Like I said, we lose some battles, right? We're winning the war, folks, but losing trades happen. If you go to one of these briefs and the lady or the dude's like, "Oh, we're never a losing trade," run. They're lying and they're full of shit. It's physically impossible. There are unknown unknowns. The famous example I use is years ago. I put on a trade on Google, went to the gym, got on the treadmill, man, closing bell sounds, watching CNBC at the gym. Breaking news, Google changes its name to Alphabet, stock's up 5% after hours. And I laughed. Wait a minute, Wiz, you lost $5,000 and you laughed? Yeah, because there's nothing. I had zero idea. Even if I knew, hey, Wiz, I heard Google's going to change its name after, trading hours type of thing. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. The stock will probably go down. And I would have lost money. So unknown unknowns happen. Losing trades happen. The discipline is knowing when to get out, right? Our motto is what? Let your winners run and cut your losers short. Most of you, if you're not a current TGO member, do what? You're holding your losers and you take profits too quickly in some of your winners. But I got to get that out there real quick. Like I said, if you started with us, back when I left Chicago and started doing this on my own, you're looking at it about, if I haven't updated this since the last Full Throttle, that's got to be, that's over $6 million easily. Yeah, that's right. The 78% rate, folks, you can start with whatever, folks. We have people, we have multimillionaires here. We have a couple billionaires that trade a little bit of their own money and have other money managers that are here. And we have stay-at-home dads, stay-at-home moms with smaller accounts, okay? But seriously, man, what would you do if you had $6 million if you've been here for that long, man? That, what do I do? We fund our foundation. That's our retreat down to Costa Rica with 2 female badass fighter pilots. She's a TGO member, and actually Rosie is too. She's our chief medical officer, F-15 Strike Eagle pilot, F-14 Tomcat pilot, and then Smurf was an F-18 pilot who ejected at 695 miles an hour. So what would I would do with $6 million? I threw it over the fence, and I'm trying to save lives. And I bought a couple fighter jets, but I use those for the foundation. We take donors flying in the back seat. If you want to go flying in the back seat of the jet, man, let me know if you're down here in South Florida. I actually painted. Up until a couple years ago, it was pretty cool having the red stars on the tail, but it's not so much. So I had those painted. So, all right. So what do you need to trade successfully, folks? And then we're going to wrap up, and I'm looking forward to this week. I'm so excited. I got briefing cards. This is going to be fun this week. My mission objective is to pay for your Full Throttle training annual membership this week. No promises, but I'm feeling pretty good. You need training, folks. That takes the building block approach, Full Throttle. You need a plan. I'm going to give you the trade plan. I'm going to show you how to use it. And you need a practical application, the live trade briefs. This is what you need to trade successfully, period. Training, a plan, and practical application. Now, if you're sitting there going, that's pretty rude. How does he think he knows what I need? Because I've been you. I've been there. I've been a retail trader going, okay, I just read, again, before Al Gore invented the internet, I'm reading a book on options. Imagine that hell. And I'm like, okay, I know what a call is now. What do I do with it? And now what? I had a ton of now what moments. There was no practical application, right? So I designed this. I rose from a self-taught retail trader to be a managing director of a multi-billion-dollar Wall Street firm and CEO of a financial media company. So I've been you. I do know what you need to be a successful trader. If I had TOPGUN options when I just started doing all this stuff, man, I'd be Gordon Gekko or Bobby Axelrod. So again, I'm going to give you the pitch tonight, and there's only 50 slots. And then Monday through Wednesday, we're going to work. But tonight I wanted to get all the marketing crap out of the way because I hate doing it during the week. So you're going to get access to the live trading. If you add it all up, it's close to $6,000, $59.64. So in Full Throttle, you're going to get access to all the live trade briefs during the week, except obviously solo Amazon. You also, if you do the one option, which I'm going to show you right now, you'll get access to the Hunters Investment Club. What's SDIS? Well, the SEC says you can have a self-directed investment club. I don't like the word club. I like the word squadron. So this is the Hunters Self-Directed Investment Squadron. This is a real-time. I place all my trades in here, personal and the model portfolios. I post intel in here throughout the day. This is a live feed. This is where you want to be, okay? The Hunters Self-Directed Investment Squadron. Wiz, I work. 80% of our traders work for a living, folks. You don't have to be there. I send out text and email alerts. If you're in the Hunters, you're getting it immediately, but you're also going to get a text on your cell phone and an email. And all the sessions are recorded, folks. It's funny. People are like, dude, this guy, Chris, he's like, I'm so geeked. I've been a subscriber for 3 years now, and this is the first time I've seen you live. I only know you from the replay. Isn't that awesome? So, Steve, Wiz has some really good traders in his group as well. So while you're growing, you're almost never alone. That's exactly right, Steve. I love that you said that. We are a squadron. You are never alone. You are not sitting there with your bunny slippers on and you're drinking a cup of coffee. You're with either the Hunters or our group. Okay. Like I said, here's a screenshot of a text alert. That's what the text alerts look like. And then obviously the email fires with the trades in it as well. You're also going to get access to those 8 training sessions that we talked about. They're brand new. I just did them. They're all current. They're good. We covered some stuff that if some people are going to join tonight, I guarantee you, go start watching the Full Throttle training videos, because we put some bearish trades on that are already printing money as the market imploded on Friday. So you're going to get access to this as well. So here's what you're going to get today, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We will close the doors when we're done. When either we get 50 or Thursday morning, I'm done, because I'm done marketing. And I don't think we've ever not got 50. We always get 50 and we shut the doors, and some people get pissed. I'm like, I'll see you in January. So 24/7 access to the Hunters Investment Club if you do the Hunters option. I'll show you in a second. Everything. I post everything in there. I just copy and paste my trades. I put intel in there, breaking news, all sorts of stuff. The 3 skill briefs, the 8 training sessions that we just did, and the manuals, the primary, intermediate, and advanced manual. Those are a couple $100 each. So let me give you the link right now, and then let me break down the why we're or what the different options are, and then we're going to be done for the night, and you can get a good night's sleep, and we're going to hit it hard tomorrow morning. But here are the options. There's the link in the chat box. Let me step through the options. This is also a lesson learned. People are like, can you describe them a little bit more in detail? And I already talked to you about 50. I don't like a zoo, man. I've been to other places where there's like 500 people in the chat box, and it's like the Battle of Britain. Ain't no training, ain't no learning going on. It's a zoo, and people pack, these other places pack people in there because they want the money. I don't need the money, folks. If I weren't doing this, I'd be getting up, putting on my bunny slippers and firing my snipers and doing stuff like that and be done for the day and printing money, which I do. This, I'm putting the ladder down. I love doing this. I'm so passionate. I love helping people. And let me tell you how I'm a really bad businessman. I don't want you here forever. You should put a Top Gun options patch on your shoulder. I got my Top Gun options patches right here. So a lot of people think you go to Top Gun for your career. We call it going to the mountain. You go to the mountain, you get smart, and you go back to the fleet, and you go teach other people, the newest tactics and stuff. So it's a crappy business model for me, but I love when I get an email in 6 months or a year or however long, like, hey man, I got it. You can cancel my membership. I'm like, congrats. Why? Because I know at a cocktail party, you're going to tell people that you're printing money and you did it at Top Gun Options. To be honest with you, we're kind of the Roach Motel, though. People check in and they don't leave. They know what they're doing. They can do it all on their own, but they love the camaraderie and they love the trade ideas. They love the intel, folks. This thing is worth its weight in gold. It's unfortunately glued to my head. There's Washington in here. There's the Pentagon in here. There's Greenwich. There's Hong Kong. There's hedge funds. This thing, I got a pretty cool network of, and now it's full of psychedelic stuff too. And pretty good stuff. So let me break this down. Here we go. The best deal, and I'm not just saying that because it's the best, it is. It's a 50% discount if you do the annual membership, right? It's $59.64. It's a 50% discount. My mission objective this week is to pay for that. By Wednesday, I have placed it and closed, open and closed, at least $3,000 in profit. Ladies and gentlemen, that sometimes, I don't want to jinx myself, that's usually a couple sniper trades a day. Okay, $29.95, the annual membership is the way to go, period. Okay, so that's your first option. All right, that gets you into the hunters and everything I just briefed. I'm not going to go through everything again that you get in this, but that's what you get. What if you're like, you know what, dude, I want to check you out. I'm not completely sold yet. I want to make sure you're not a complete idiot. Well, maybe you do. You test it. You do the full throttle stuff, and you want access to the Hunters Investment Club. It's $497 a month. Now, if you're a political science major, let me help you out. $497 times 12 months. Oh, geez. It's cheaper to do the annual. This option is come in, kick the tires for a month or two, and absolutely email Wiz, I want to upgrade into the annual to save money. People do this for 2, 3, 4 months just to make sure, because you're getting the full throttle stuff and you're in the investment club. So you're in training and with me in the investment club, getting all the stuff real time. Okay. So this is the kick the tires with the investment club and kick the tires with full throttle. Okay. As a businessman, I'd want you in here for 20 years, but that's the horrible thing to do. Do the annual and get the 50% discount. Okay. The last option is literally the tire kicking option. It's the monthly trial option. It's only $295, folks. $295 is not even a half a sniper shot tomorrow for me. Okay. $295 a month is a steal. Warning, Will Robinson. This one, obviously, you don't get access to the hunters, to the investment club. This is kind of the full, the full throttle kind of. I'm still in the training environment and feeling stuff out. So you get everything with this except the hunters access. Okay, so I guess in other full throttles, I hadn't really kind of blew that out too much. Okay. So that 50% discount on the annual, folks, is good this week. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT-hunters. Let me just show you this page. And then I'm going to be done. I'll remind you briefly of this throughout the week, but I wanted to get this out of the way tonight during the welcome aboard brief so you kind of know what's coming or what you can have access to. Again, best deal, tire kicker. I want access to the hunters, though, but I'm still kicking tires, or legitimate just tire kicker. But either one of the tire kicker ones, folks, upgrade eventually after I prove I'm not a complete moron. Okay. But again, men lie, performance doesn't. So, it's performance. Let's go to that brokerage account and go back to it's blowing away everybody. It's awesome. I absolutely love this. And then obviously the model portfolios are crushing it too. All right, a couple more seconds and then I'll answer all those questions that are flying through the chat box. Again, I usually don't do this. I usually don't, quote, do the selling until the end of the week. But people last time were like, no, can you do it at the beginning? All right, you get all this stuff. Folks, trading and combat are what? Complex, right? They're technically not. What? How do we battle complexity? Whether in trading or combat, simplicity. Think about it. Whether in trading or combat, there's a lot of shit. You break it down, man. You battle complexity with simplicity. I'm going to give you superior training. I'm going to teach you how to manage risk. You can't make money if you're losing money. I'm going to show you how to be disciplined and apply our methodologies, folks. I've been doing this for a while, folks, and it's all in one easy to follow system. This is it. I built this thing, man, and it's pretty damn tight. Okay, so you're at decision range. Nah, you're not at decision range. That'll be on Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, Wednesday or Thursday, you can kind of be. But I'm telling you, and my phone was buzzing a little bit, which means people are joining. When we hit 50, we're done. I don't want to zoo. Wiz, I've had many other subscriptions. Raging Bull, Money Map Press, Tim Sykes, Jack. I never heard of these people. None of them work as hard as you, and none delivered results like you. I wish I had known about you years ago. Now I look forward to the future months. I'm not going to read that. That's an eye chart. Oh, this one. Small account alert. $8,000 in the past 2 weeks trading 2 to 3 contracts. Folks should feel good when they are doing well. Don't worry. I love this. Don't worry about others making 30, 50, 100 grand in the same time frame. You are having success. Go with it. As the account grows, you can do more contracts down the road. And apart from making money, folks, I love what David said here. You literally saved my portfolio from blowing out completely. Those make me smile too. I have people who are like, dude, you prevented me from, doing X, Y, or zero. Kenneth, are you able to break up the annual price? Kenneth, we do have a quarterly option. Would you be interested in a quarterly option? I don't have that link, Kenneth. If you, we do have a quarterly. Let me support. So Kenneth, do me a favor at TOPGUNoptions.com. Or wait a minute. You know what? Hang on. I think I remember it. Let's wait. Go.topgunoptions.com/ Let me see. But yeah, you can break it up. Oh, wait. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, man, I found it. Look at me. Here it is, right here. Good question. It's funny, man, because every once in a while people do ask that. Like, can you break up? I mean, my immediate answer would be, can I break up the annual? I say, yeah, monthly. But this is a better deal. It's where is it? Let me click here. It's $497 a quarter. So that's up to you. $497 a quarter, Ken. Okay. All right. Let me answer more questions. There's the replay page, but there's a ton of questions in here. And this is the first time I'm glad I'm doing this tonight, so I got it out of the way so we can focus on training. Fights on, brother. Wiz, just attended the Full Throttle training last week. I'm brand new to all this. In your opinion, better to get started with solo Amazon or dive into Full Throttle? I'm sure eventually I will do both, but where's the best place to start? Mike, I like Full Throttle. Solo Amazon's a good gateway drug. It's $97 a month, but a lot of people don't take the training, right? The Full Throttle $150 training or whatever it is, and they miss out. So if I can tell you're kind of with it and ready to get airborne, I'd do Full Throttle. Do the $295 a month just to check it out for a month or two. But I'd strongly recommend at least the monthly Full Throttle. You don't have to do the annual or the $497 one if you're not ready for that. But check out the $295. But Mike, if you want access, this is the instructor panel for what the Hunters looks like. If you want access to the Hunters, you got to do either this middle one or the annual. So if you're really ready to go, that. If you're kicking the tires and want access to the Hunters, that. And then this obviously doesn't get you into the Hunters, but it gets you into the 8 training. Well, it sounds like you did the training. This is obviously the cheapest way to get into the 4 live trade briefs. Then you can always upgrade. So it's up to you. Good question. All right, a couple more. And then, sorry, I went way too late, man. This was supposed to be like an hour and 15 minutes. That's the right answer, Mike. I love that. He gets a gold star. Going to need to train and paper trade for a while. Thanks. Jay, this is awesome. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. This is, folks, I'm like I said, I'm very passionate about what I do. There's been the Top Gun options that you see today has been built and molded because people that have gone before you have given me feedback, and this is a pretty tight system. This is why I like, I love getting those testimonials. Like, dude, I've wasted I don't like getting those. Like, I was XYZ or brand, whatever. This is where I needed to be. So, and we're quiet. I mean, I sit in the background. Like I said, I don't necessarily need them. I'm not a charity, but I do this for sport and fun. And obviously, I love having a nice house and a nice fighter jet. But other than that, man, like my dad always said, you can't take it with you, right? You're not a pharaoh. Ain't nobody in this brief or me a pharaoh. Where when we go, they're putting money in your casket, or I'm being buried with my fighter jet. So I want to help people. And before I forget, if you haven't seen our trailer, before you go, or sometime tonight, go watch the No Fallen Heroes trailer right here. It'll give you let me give you this link real quick. If you're like, I have no idea what the No Fallen Heroes Foundation is or does, watch this. It's a quick 4-minute video. We showed this in Denver a couple months ago at the psychedelic science thing. So once you get out of here, as soon as I close the brief, watch this YouTube video. Do me a favor, like the video, but also subscribe to our No Fallen Heroes page. William, hey Wiz, great presentation. When I join, are you able to show how to hedge $100,000 in a 401k account that is in mutual funds by using a separate cash account? William, yes, I'm going to have to step through that with you. So you, William, I strongly recommend you doing the annual or this one, so you can be in the hunter, so I can talk to you. So you and I can, yeah, absolutely. So you do that, and you'll be in here, and I'll map all that out. First of all, I love your question because it shows that you're pretty damn smart. Did everybody listen to that? Let me read that again. When I join, are you able to show how to hedge? I love that. How to hedge $100,000 in a 401k account. This guy is already thinking about what? Managing risk, the ejection seat. Where's the exit? I love that. William does not want to turn his 401k into a 201k, which is a distinct possibility. Look at the S&P 500, folks, real quick. We smoked crack for 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Donald Trump, we're all going to die, COVID. No, we're not. The Fed's going to bail out and save us all. And then they took away the punch bowl. We have a lot further to go, in my opinion. So William's already thinking like a steely-eyed fighter pilot. I love that. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you behind the scenes here, William. You are going to learn. Let me open my slide sorter here. I didn't talk about it tonight, but I love the fact that he has this look. I'm going to teach you a tactic right here. You see this? A tredge, ladies and gentlemen. What's a tredge? A trade, I want to make money. A hedge, if it loses, I make money. So, William, I'm going to teach you a tactic called a tredge. It's a trade that's going to make money and acts like a hedge to protect your portfolio. So, very long-winded answer to your short question. The answer is yes, William. So, Jay, do you have any specific charting software? And yeah, you will get a reminder to log in the morning. Go to webinar. We'll send you out a link like an hour. It's the same link you got in here, but you'll get a reminder email. But also, I got to be honest with you, man. Everything I need for charting, E-Trade has it. I got to be honest with you, folks. These retail brokerage platforms have the same, if not more, tools than I had at the professional firm. This is nuts. I mean, the brokerage, your trading account, no matter who you're trading with, unless you're like Robinhood and Bargain Basement, Joe's Discount Brokerage, you have everything you need in your brokerage account. I guarantee you. And I'll teach you all that stuff, but I don't. So Jay, again, long answer to your short question. a lot of the trading software is extra bullshit. You're paying for it already in who you're trading with. Okay. Most brokerage firms, are going to have all this stuff in here. They don't want you going out and buying charting software from Steve's Charting. I mean, some people do have their own proprietary, here's my own special, whatever, reverse dojo with a twist stuff. I don't need any of it. I got all my stuff here. You're already paying for it. So, Steve, I've been following Wiz for several years, but couldn't afford to join at the time. I knew COVID was coming more than a month before everyone else did. I love this guy. Thanks, Wiz. Dude, Steve, thank you for that. And I, if you don't mind, am going to grab that as a testimonial, dude. Thank you for the kind words, man. That's really cool. I love that. That was cool, man. I mean, it wasn't cool. I don't mean it like that. People died, people got hurt, but hey, man, I'm gonna make money off other people's stupidity. So that's pretty cool, my brother. I appreciate that. All right. Any other questions, concerns, by the ways? I'm glad I did it this format. I actually like it like this. Let's just get all the marketing crap out of the way at the beginning, and then I can work the rest of the week. I'll remind you how many slots we have left and all that stuff. And we do fill up, folks. So like I said, if you enjoyed it tonight, and you're like, dude, I want to, somebody's buying because my phone's buzzing. Good. Then get airborne right now. Okay. But if not, if you still need to, obviously you're going to attend the rest of the week if you want, but got all that stuff out of the way. Good stuff. All right, man. Like I said, here's the replay page. If you came in here late, don't watch the top of the replay page. That's from the last quarter. I'm going to go stretch my legs. It takes about 20 minutes for this replay to render. Then I will post it at the top of the replay page here. Okay. And we will be good to go. I'm going to get up, meditate, go to yoga, listen to my mastermind call, and I will be on the brief at 10 a.m. Jay, I'm so excited for this to see it in action tomorrow morning. Thank you. I'm excited too, man. We got a lot of interesting stuff coming ahead. I watching the Sunday shows. I think we got a little bit of this, and then we're gonna get that G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu Grip Christmas rally. But we got volatility coming, and I'm going to show you how you can potentially make money as the market's going down, and that is fun. All right, stuff. All right, folks. Sorry I went late, but this was good. I can tell we're gonna have this. Is you all are a good. This is good energy. I love this stuff, man. So we're gonna have a good week. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you can't make it, watch the replay, and we're gonna have fun this week. Okay. If you have any questions, concerns, by the ways, or smart remarks, you can always shoot me an email, Wiz, W-H-I-Z, at TOPGUNoptions.com. I posted the quarterly option if you want to break it up a little bit. And that's it. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your night. I'm fired up. Seems like we got a really good crowd. Have a great rest of your night. Make sure you're hedged like William wants to do. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. God bless, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning.